Okay, allow it.
Thank you. 27th of January, Rabbi Levitt, Pele Yoetz.
Okay, Pele Yoetz. So we are up to a new section here on page 298. Rabo. Rabo means one's teacher. A very good translation. That's really what a Rav is. He's a teacher. That's why people say, somebody he takes a job, when he goes to, teach in a cheder or teach in a school or something like that, teaching Torah. So they automatically they give him a title of rabbi. So people say, what's he giving them a title of a rabbi for? He's not a rabbi. He says he is a rabbi. A rabbi is a teacher. Mm-hmm. Rabbi is not someone who has smicha. A rabbi is someone who teaches somebody something. That's a rabbi. So if you teach people, you're a rabbi.
So how do you distinguish from someone who's got smicha?
It has nothing to do with anything. A rabbi,
yeah,
over here, the word that the Pele Yoetz said?
Yeah, no.
What does that mean? It's his rabbi.
Yeah, what does that mean?
That. He's a teacher.
Yeah,
that's correct.
So how do you distinguish between a rabbi as a teacher and the person who has got smicha, who you go to for? There's no difference.
No, you don't go to some. There's different types of rabbis. There's a rabbi that you go to for psak halacha. You can call him a rabbi.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also a person who is a teacher in a school, and he teaches people Torah. He's also called a rabbi.
Mm-hmm. Right.
What's the problem?
So there's no way of telling the difference between them, in that the rabbi that you go for Pesach, he's teaching you something that's true, but he's not a teacher in the school. Perhaps, but say he's not the teacher in the school, but somebody else.
I'll tell you something else. The Chafetz Chaim, did he have smicha? Somebody gave the Chafetz Chaim smicha?
I have no idea.
Not that I'm aware of.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, who are all the rabbis that paskin halacha? What sefer do they look in?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mishnah Berurah.
Right.
He's not a rabbi, according to you.
I didn't say that. I was asking a question.
Okay.
I was asking a question. I didn't pass an opinion.
There's people that can pass a test in smicha, and still I wouldn't ask them a question in halacha. Because you want somebody that knows what the halacha is, not somebody who has smicha.
Right. Okay. No.
So in other words, smicha means absolutely nothing. Either you know what the halacha is, and then you could answer questions in halacha, or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And then so if somebody asks you, you say, I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to that question. There's no such thing as, I'm not a rabbi.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares whatever you are? The question is, do you know the halacha? Do you know? Chafetz Chaim knew the halacha. He wrote the Mishnah Berurah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You call him a rabbi.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry I'm late.
Morning, Alan.
Good morning, Alan.
Yeah, we had to empty our Moxon because we're still working on the building, so they gave us like a day notice.
Oh boy.
So,
Okay. So you got it all worked out, hopefully.
no, not yet.
Not yet. Okay. All right. That's what the Chafetz Chaim said about himself. I think it's written in the Sefer, in his biography. He says the Chavetz Chaim says, I'm a Baal Habayis. And somebody, I think somebody else, maybe it was Rebbe Chanan, his student, he said, yes, the Chavetz Chaim is a Baal Habayis. He's a Baal on this bias and that bias and that bias and every bias in Klal Yisrael. He's a Baal Habayis. That's who he is, right? So these distinctions that people think are basically meaningless.
Mhm. Right, all right.
Right? If you want, okay, I think the point is clear. Is the point clear?
Perhaps, yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
think about it.
Okay. Mm.
In other words, a rabbi is a teacher. Even somebody you ask for is my chicken kosher now? Is my spoon kosher?
Mhm.
He's teaching you. He's teaching you what you have to do with that spoon. So he's a teacher.
Mhm.
But the fact that there's rabbis specialized. Not every rabbi will be able to tell you all the halachas about basar v'chalav and all the halachas about lending with interest. So you go to a rabbi that does.
Mhm.
But whatever a rabbi, he's called a rabbi because he knows to teach something, and he teaches something to people. And hopefully what he's telling you is correct. but he restricts his right, like I do. You ask me a question in halacha. If I know the answer, I'll tell you. If I don't know the answer, I'll tell you I don't know.
Mhm.
If it's a simple question that doesn't require a great expertise, so I can answer it. But if I can't, so I'll or I could find out for you from someone that does. But you
Mhm.
can also do the same thing. It's you just but anyone who is capable of teaching someone who has especially if he has a position, that his position is that he teaches people. He's called a rabbi, and he's properly called a rabbi, even if he doesn't have smicha, because having smicha has nothing to do with being called a rabbi. That's what my point is.
Right, okay. Oh,
Okay.
well, but you're specifically talking about Yiddishkeit, are you?
Oh, you mean well actually the Gemara uses the word rabbi even for somebody who teaches an apprentice to be how to be a blacksmith or a carpenter.
Uh-huh. Okay.
He's also a teacher.
Mhm. So I must be a rabbi once. We're teachers.
Yeah, you could call yourself a rabbi.
No, I'm not a teacher anymore.
Oh, you attained that title. You deserve the title. So now on, we'll call you. That's how we'll refer to you. Peanut.
Please
Okay.
don't.
Okay. Okay. So let's see what the Pele Yoetz has to say about Rabbo.
Mhm.
Let's see. So okay, Roy. So you have the honor of leading off today.
Great is the obligation of fear and respect for one's teacher, as the statement of our sages attests in Pesachim. The fear of your teacher should be like the fear of heaven. And they, in Shabbat 30b, said, every student who sits before his teacher and whose lips do not drip myrrh, due to great fear and trepidation, should be scolded. A person is prohibited to render a halachic decision in the place. Did I say prohibited? A person is prohibited to render a halachic decision in the place of his teacher. Behold, the sages in Eruvin said, whoever renders a halachic decision in the presence of his teacher is obligated to the death penalty. He may not even rule on something as simple as the permissibility of eggs in milk.
Oh boy.
Who among us is as great as Nadav, Avihu, and Yehoshua ben Nun, who violated this principle and were punished? Our sages in Sanhedrin said, a person who argues with the ruling of his teacher is like one who argues with the divine presence. There are many other such similar statements of our sages. Behold, as long as they are children sitting before their teacher, certainly the fear of the teacher is upon them, for he will strike them on the head with his rod. However, people need to be even more diligent when they grow up and are wise in their own eyes. There are children who lack trustworthiness and disregard the honor of their teachers, to the point that their teachers declare about them, children I've raised and uplifted, but they have acted maliciously against me. In Yeshayahu.
Okay. So let's take a look at this Gemara in Eruvin.
Where is that?
Eruvin 63a.
I've got or haven't got it.
Okay, that's the quote. Person is prohibited to render a halakhic decision in place of his teacher. Whoever renders a halakhic decision in terms of his teacher is obligated to death penalty. Hmm. Talmud Chaver delay have a Nami Talmud Chaver Demar on Amar Rav Tzur Rabbanan Chazoy Lenafshe. Read it in Machuza. We see which to Sakina Vahov Ask Nach Bele Lezil at me Rava Amalei Lo Sobamar Ad Amar Rava Tzur Rabbanan Chazoy Lenafshe. It wasn't. Ba'asrei the Rav Acha Bar Yankiv Oy Rav Acha B'rei the Rav Ika L'mevad Lahu Igla Tilsa AC Sakina L'kol Machve Lahu Amalahu Rav Acha Bar Taklifa Lo Lichush Lay the Saba Amalahu Rabbalazar Meheboni Hafi Amar Rava Super Rabban Chazal and Nafshe Chazal Kinish.
Have that Eruvin. I've only got up to 52 or something.
Well, still. Oh, here it is. Kol hamora halacha b'fnei rabo chayav misa. Okay, it's about I don't know. I guess I'll count all the lines over here. It's sort of like in the middle of these wide lines. Pretty much in the middle of these wide lines. The first word in the line that it appears in is velo ben navi anofi. So what happened with this story over here? This is a whole. Looks like there's a whole page over here about this subject, more or less. But the actual line that is quoted, that the Pele Yoetz is quoting over here, is yeah, let's see what happened over here.
Have you got it, Lou?
No, I don't have everything.
I only got a part of their evidence.
Halacha b'fnei rabo chayav misa, v'al ken yadati shelo yotzir shnasoi. Oy vey. Ad kan divrei abraisa. Amar Rav Bar Hana, Amar Rav Yochanan. Also Talmud Yehuda ben Guria Shmo. V'haya rachok mimenu shalosh parsos. What was the question? Okay, so in any case, that's this Gemara over here. And so Shalom b'fanav lo v'hotanya Rabbi Eliezer Omer lo mesu b'nei Aaron ad shahoru halacha b'fnei Moshe Rabban. The Brisa says in the name of Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov that the sons of Aaron, Nadav Avihu, that went in to offer the incense, they weren't commanded to do that, but the Chazal have a number of different. The pasuk doesn't say explicitly why it was that they were taken away at that point in time. But over here we see the opinion of Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov. He says that the reason was because they were hora halacha b'fnei Moshe Rabban, that they rendered a halachic decision, we'll call it, in the while Moshe Rabbeinu was still around. What did they maybe that itself, that they offered this incense on the Mizbeach, that was perhaps I'm looking over here. This is that was regarded as rendering a halachic decision in the presence of one's teacher, and so okay, fine.
So not to belabor Roy's point, but what are we talking about here? I mean, if somebody is teaching me something that's not Torah, I would assume this does not apply.
Oh, here we're talking about hora halacha. Halacha means a halacha in Torah. whether this incense is supposed to be brought on the mizbeach. That was a matter of halacha. And
Right.
Nadav Diyu went ahead and did it, and so that amounted to. I think the pasuk says that they brought a fire offering that they weren't commanded. But what does that mean? That they weren't commanded to do that? So over here, the Gemara is teaching us that that if you want to explain what it was that they did and why it was that they were chayav misa for that, is because they were hora halacha b'fnei Moshe Rabban. They that seems to be the implication over here in the Gemara.
Right, so they're giving us example of a teacher who is extremely exalted and qualified, and saying it's chayav misa if you go against his halacha.
Yeah.
But let's say I'll give you an example. When I was in Los Angeles or in Santa Monica, so we used to have these outreach Shabbases where people would come in to the shul from wherever, sometimes totally unaffiliated. And so we had this guy come in, and we invited him to come to a shiur. So he picked a Gemara shiur, and he started coming to this Sunday morning Gemara shiur. And first of all, he had missed a couple of classes. Then second of all, he had absolutely no skills. So, he was totally lost. And so I approached him and I said, listen, if you want, you can come over to my house one night during the week, and I can go over with you what we learned on the previous Sunday, and help you to get caught up a little bit.
Very good.
And he said, great.
Yeah.
So I was his teacher. Now at this time, I knew very little. This was a beginning Gemara class that I was attending, and I was trying to learn a little bit about Gemara. I wasn't keeping all the halakas. I was on what's called the not yet path. So that's where I was holding. I was very much a beginner. So if I told him a halakha and he didn't follow it, you're saying that he would be liable for the death penalty?
No. First of all, let's clarify what it means to be horu halacha. Okay. When we're talking about over here about rendering a halachic decision, my understanding is that we're talking about rendering a halakhic decision in a matter of halacha, which is subject to differing opinions amongst the big halakhic decisors, and
Right.
Therefore, or even an issue in halacha which was not directly addressed by the Shulchan Aruch. and you need Rav Moshe Feinstein to paskin and say, yes, this electric procedure over here that's being done, you can't do that on Shabbos, right? So it requires an expertise in all of Torah in order to be able to understand what the Metzias is and be able to render a halachic decision on that basis. But if somebody, okay, I know that the Pele Yoetz over here is saying even something as simple as the permissibility of eggs and milk. That's what the Pele Yoetz says. My understanding is that is not so. My understanding is that if there is something which is agreed upon by all halachic authorities, and everybody knows that that's what the halacha is, right? So if you could tell somebody that, and that's not called you're rendering a halachic decision. It's not called rendering a halachic decision. It's not a subject of disputes. It's not something that big rabbinic scholars, especially in halakha, differ about, and so therefore you need to have. Therefore, an ordinary Jew has to go to someone. We'll call him a rabbi, right? Because he's well versed in the Torah and in halacha, and he could render a halachic decision for him. Meaning, let's say that there's a machlokes over here between let's just say between the Shach and the Taz in Shulchan Aruch about this matter, and Rebbe Yashuv paskin that it was mutter, and Rebbe Shlomo Zalman paskin that it was asur, right? So how do you know what to do? How do you know? You follow the Shach, you follow the Taz, you follow Rebbe Yashuv, you follow Rebbe Shlomo Zalman. What are you supposed to do? That you go to a rabbi, and he says, "This is what you should do." The accepted halacha in that matter is or even if it's not accepted, it's not accepted. But he's qualified as a rabbi to decide between decide on that matter for you. Now, a matter like that that is not so simple. It's a complex matter. It's subject to dispute. So that type of a matter, if someone should decide that issue on his own in the presence of his teacher, that's where this halach would come in.
So his teacher in this case would be someone with smicha.
Again, let's. I see that my point wasn't understood about the smicha matter. In other words, you have to decide. You have to understand, what does it mean that this is somebody's rabbi? This is his rebbe. This is his teacher. This is the one who taught him Torah, and he taught him how to paskin halacha. He taught him how to decide halachic issues, right? So that person is that's his rabbo. That's a very specific halachic definition, and that person, if that person is alive and he's available, then his student should say, you should go to my I can't tell you the answer to that question because of this Gemara in Eruvin. But practically speaking, right? Practically speaking, what happens is that if like for example, the Rav here in Neve Yaakov, right? How does he become the Rav in Neve Yaakov? Because he was in the presence of Rebbe Eliashiv for a number of years, and then when he became the Rav in Neve Yaakov and he paskin shailas, so how could he do that if Rebbe Elyashiv is still alive? So it's understood that that Rebbe Elyashiv says, yes, this is what he probably went to Rebbe Elyashiv and said, should I accept this position as being the Rebbe of Neve Yaakov? And Rebbe Elyashiv told him, yes, that's what you should do. So he gave him permission. So he has permission to paskin now, even though he's in the presence, so to speak, of his teacher, because his teacher is a 15-minute car ride away. But when you're just teaching someone Torah, you're not representing that what you're telling them is the accepted psak. It's not a halacha. It's not a halacha. So in other words, what I think you should be understanding over here and seeing what we're discussing about over here is this whole matter of what the Pele Yoetz is referring to is itself a matter of halacha, and it's a matter of understanding what is regarded as somebody is being his teacher, what's regarded as rendering a halachic decision. It's a whole, it's a part of the Talmud, which has no end to it. So to take what the Pele Yoetz is saying over here and apply it to you're trying to help this person learn and get the shear. It doesn't. In my humble opinion, you don't have to. It's not a problem. in 3 words.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah. And over here, we're not. I mean, he's mentioned 2 different points over here. Actually, he's mentioned 2 different points. One point is he's rendering a halachic decision in the presence of his teacher, and the other thing is it says that he's what does it say? He's arguing with the rulings of his teacher. That's a totally different matter.
Right.
I mean, it's related, but it's a different Gemara. And we could look up that Gemara as well. But that's also it's also a matter of when does someone become that he's just a student or when does he become a colleague? When he becomes a student who as he amasses knowledge, he becomes a colleague. And there's many instances in the Talmud of students who did not agree with the reasoning of the holding of their Rav, of the one that taught them Torah. And so it's another subject as well.
Just a technical question, Rabbi. The very beginning of this this paragraph, it says his lips should drip with myrrh. I don't understand what that means.
Yeah, it's an expression from the Gemara. The Pele Yoetz is always talking his language is the language of the Tanakh and the Talmud. So this is in Hebrew over here. Yeah, isn't I'm just, 1 second.
I think
You wanna
myrrh
know
is
what-
a spice.
You want to know what it is?
I think it's a spice, but I don't know anything about it. If his lips would drip with it, what does that mean? Is it like dripping with poison?
No, I'm too sure I can.
Oh, it sounds like that's the Gemara in Shabbos. It's a quote from a Gemara in Shabbos, right?
Oh, yeah, Shabbos 30b. Oh,
So you
right.
have to, so that's, there you go.
All right, I can look that up.
Shall we look it up now? Or you want to go further? Whatever you want to do.
Let's go further. I'll look it up on my own.
Okay. So yeah, he has a very, yeah, I mean, there's a, yeah, there definitely are, there's definitely, I mean, he's quoting Gemaras over here.
I've got a definition of myrrh here. It's a fragrant gum resin obtained from certain trees and used especially in the Near East in perfumery, medicines, and incense.
Yeah, it could be one of the, it could be one of the translations for one of the 11 ingredients in the Ketoris offering. It
It's
sounds familiar.
also bitter tasting. That fits in with what we're saying here.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so fine. Okay, so let's go to the next section. Oh, we don't have any time. Okay, sorry about that.
Oh,
Okay,
thank you, Rabbi.
okay.
Have a good Shabbos, everybody.
Good Shabbos to everyone. Oh,
See you.
good Shabbos to good Shabbos to Mayor, who's not here. And
No,
good Shabbos to everybody who is here, and to Lou and Roy and Alan. Enjoy your Shabbos.
Thank you. Same to
Good
you.
health.
you too. Bye for now.
Amen.
Alan, good success with your machzan. Okay, bye-bye.